More than 74,000 student loan borrowers in North Carolina have received more than $3.6 billion in student loan relief.
That amount could increase soon, with President Biden planning to wipe away more student loan debt for millions of Americans. Eligible borrowers include people who owe more than their original loan amount and people who took out undergrad loans more than 20 years ago or began graduate loan repayments 25 or more years ago. More details on the plan are limited, but the Education Department is expected to release a formal plan in the coming months where the public will be able to weigh in.
The president says he expects legal challenges to the plan, which comes nearly a year after the U.S. Supreme Court struck down his previous broader plan to cancel some student debt.
All right, so we're going to bring in Chief Legal Analyst Khalif Rhodes. So what kind of legal roadblocks do you foresee for this new plan?
Only the largest roadblock that you could have in the legal process, the Supreme Court. I mean, they already showed them before that we don't like you attempting to circumvent Congress by trying to do something on your own, and so we're going to step in and tell you that you can't do this. The last thing that he attempted to do, about 6 or 7 states challenged this to the Supreme Court, Missouri being the first one, and it was all about money. They said if you allow this to go forward, we'll lose about $44 million, and so they asked the Supreme Court to stop it, and they did. And so if I can point to any roadblock, the largest one, Supreme Court all day.
Well, you talk about the Supreme Court. What's different from this plan than what was the Supreme Court struck down last year?
Excellent question. Biden, at the time when Supreme Court did strike down that last executive type of order, what he said is that I'll have to come at it from a different angle. He tried at that moment to go using the HEROES Act, and he tried to get the Department of Secretary of Education to use the HEROES Act and say I can basically wipe out debt on my own without getting congressional approval. Supreme Court ultimately said, hey, you can't do that. The HEROES Act wasn't made for that intended purpose. And so now they're going through the normal regulatory process like they should have done in the first place. And so as we mentioned in the opening piece, there'll be public commentary. So they'll write out their proposed draft of this rule, and then there'll be an opportunity for the public to give feedback. So folks can say, you know what, I don't like this portion. Okay, I like this portion. How about these changes? You can make recommendations. Normally, most folks don't respond and don't have a vested interest. And even folks that do have a vested interest just don't have the time to, to participate in this open public forum session, but they should. And hopefully they do, so they can draft a bill that has comment from both sides of the aisle, and then hopefully we can come up with a resolution where folks that need much needed resolution in debt relief can get some relief from this.
Well, how do you think the success of this plan plays into the election in November?
I think that is the biggest bright red spot that's, for both sides. And so while both sides are attempting to jockey for position, you have the Republicans that have seemed to entrench their heels into the abortion argument. They're looking at trying to find ways to gather voters in support behind the abortion argument. On the other side, on the Democratic side, you have them going towards these highly educated people that are drowning, that went to schools, that gave them these promises of education and access to the middle class, but now are drowning in debt. And so that's their voter base that they're trying to go after. So I think that is the key. I mean, you have him talking about it here in Madison, Wisconsin yesterday. You have Harris in Pennsylvania talking about the exact same thing. And so now you can see leading up into November, both sides are saying these are where our voting bases will come from. Highly educated people that didn't get the jobs that they thought they would get. Let's go after them. Let's give them some relief, and hopefully that relief will turn into votes.
Well, and that was a big campaign promise in 2020.
Yeah, and we could expect those legal challenges coming up here soon as well. All right.
2020 challenges. He has to go back to go on that promise. And so he said, listen, I almost had it there. Supreme Court knocked it down, and he can use that as campaign ammunition to say, if you had elected me earlier or sooner and Trump was never in office, maybe the Supreme Court wouldn't have struck it down in the first place.
All right. Well, we'll see. Kelly, thank you.